to Talking Reds. Good morning, my name's James Sutton, and in the spirit of all things pre-season tour, the Anfield Wrap have very kindly promoted me to the first team. I guess that's based on my attitude in training, probably. I'm joined by my good friend Ian Salmon, and we're going to pick through today's news for you. First up, Liverpool have been linked with 20-year-old midfielder Kai Havertz from Bayer Leverkusen. Bayern Munich and Barca are also reportedly interested in him, but Leverkusen want 100 million for him, as reported in The Bild. Ian, thoughts on 100 million for this fella?
It's no longer real money, is it? The money doesn't exist.
No.
Everything's about amortisation.
Everything's
over
money.
5 years. Anybody can put any price they want down. The fact that João Felix has gone for 120 million euros.
19 years old.
19 years old. This lad's a year older, so maybe this is a bargain. Maybe, I don't know, should prices rise when you hit your 20s? It does seems absurd, but everything seems absurd. The reports are he's really, really good. I mean, he's been linked a couple of times this summer already. His name's floated up and floated down and floated up, and this morning it's floated up again. And Rob Gutman, who may well be out of the country on his holidays, but is still on top of all...
He's always out of the country.
Well, basically, yeah. But he's still on top of all transfer-related stuff. He's retweeted a piece this morning from Sam Maguire of Football Whispers from 2017. Kai Havertz apparently visited Melwood in October 2017. He was welcomed by Jurgen, by Steven Gerrard, and by Phil Coutinho. Now, I'm not entirely sure if Coutinho welcoming him is a good thing or not. It depends on Phil's current feeling at the time.
It depends which Coutinho you get.
How his back was and everything.
This is true.
But they met him at the time. He was tipped at the age of 18 to be the new Mesut Ozil. Again, I'm not entirely sure how great being the new Mesut Ozil is. It depends on which Mesut Ozil you get. But the lad's got potential.
Do you know much about him?
Not a huge amount, no. It's I can't claim to have watched a single second of him play.
No.
Anything at all.
I think I've seen a montage.
Was it put together to dance music?
Yeah, it was of course it was over dance music. That's the only montages that matter.
Did he look spectacular?
You can make anyone look spectacular in 30 seconds if you put a pounding beat behind them.
I think you'd struggle with me, but with other people possibly. But it's not just us. Bayern Munich are interested, Barca are interested, but Bayern and Barca are interested in just about anybody that's available.
This is true.
We're in this weird balancing position now where we keep hearing that we're not buying anyone, and in other news, we're buying 100 million pound players. So God knows, the truth's somewhere in the middle.
So there you go. That could go either way, says Ian Salmon.
Yeah.
Next expert. Next on the agenda, the Nicolas Pepe saga continues to roll on, and I think will carry on throughout the summer. We've been linked with him yet again. This time, the Lille owner, I'm going to have to read this out so I get the quote right. Gerard Lopez is quoted by RMC Sport to have said, "I know there have been discussions with the player, not with us as a club. Liverpool have players in these positions, and I read that maybe there were players who could leave or not. I'm not particularly focused on Liverpool, but it is true that there have been discussions with agents." So yet again, we are linked with Nicolas Pepe. Ian, I mean, we've spoken at length in many shows about Nicolas Pepe. Let's go through it one more time.
Nicolas Pepe is the new Nabil Fekir. He is this summer's Fekir. Now we finally accepted that Fekir is never coming anywhere near the club and is moving on elsewhere for a bargain fee and not wanted by any of the big clubs,
No.
which would indicate there's some kind of issue there
He's made
that
of
we're
crisps.
aware of. Yeah, quite possibly. So Nicolas Pepe is this year's Nabil Fekir. Unfortunately, you haven't got the alliteration for Fekir Friday, so I'm not sure exactly where you fit Pepe on that. This statement from Gerard Lopez is about 100 words long and is filled with so many sub-clauses and conditions, it's unbelievable. You could read this anyway. He knows there's been discussions with the player. He doesn't necessarily say it's with us, not with the club. Liverpool has players in those positions. He doesn't say we've spoken to anybody about him, which doesn't say we've spoken to Pepe in this statement.
It doesn't make a huge amount of sense, and,
No.
and it's the fact that he keeps dropping the word Liverpool into these statements, into these conversations. I don't understand why the president would
keep stating that.
Would keep doing this.
If you're the president of a football club and you are negotiating with another club for one of your players, do you really want that negotiation to be in public? Do you want those words to be out there? Unless you're using it as a stalking horse for other clubs. Alternatively, are you just being very, very open and going, Liverpool are talking to this lad, you know? We know it happens. We know clubs talk to people without actually talking to the club. So we don't know where Gerard Lopez is coming from. But again, Pepe, I have seen a little more than just a montage.
He's a lovely player.
He does look very good. Looks a little bit lightweight. He looks like he could get knocked off the ball easily. But the skill, he does love a turn at high speed. And the turn at high speed that he executes can take 3 players out of the game completely. So he looks like a lad who could actually make a real difference in breaking down teams with a strong back line. I'd be all for signing Nicolas Pepe. I'm all for signing anybody who improves the team as a whole.
I just want to sign anybody.
Just a transfer, please.
But I think this is the thing, you know, when you're dining at the top table, when you are the most coveted team in Europe right now, the most exciting team. If you're not talking about players that actually want to come to your club, if you work in the press or the media, you've got to talk about something. And Liverpool, we sell newspapers.
Yes.
People want to hear about us. They want to talk about us. Players want to come and play for us. So this furore is going to carry on throughout the summer, and I dare say we'll be linked with even more players.
Basically, this conversation is happening for the rest of our lives about somebody. There's no escaping.
You could watch this show probably back. You can watch this back any time for the next 12 months, and it'll make perfect sense.
You could put the FaceApp 40-year filter on both our faces. I'll look really, really bad, I know this for a fact. And we can have the same conversation about any other player. The thing we've got is that I was speaking to my wife, who's an Evertonian, just after the season finished, talking about what our transfer targets were supposed to be. A 20-year-old flexible front 3 player and some coverage of left back, nobody big. And her attitude was, have you seen your team? How are you supposed to improve that team? And you're going to have to be a big player and back yourself in a huge way to want to come to Liverpool, to think that you're going to get the game time that you want.
The woman talks perfect sense.
She does.
And
she does.
Speaking of teams, I wanted to get your thoughts on, because we play Dortmund at 1 a.m. Is that correct?
1 a.m. our time?
1 a.m. our time, 7 p.m. their time.
Chicago time.
Yeah, that makes sense. So we play Dortmund. Obviously, the Anfield Rap fellas are over there at the moment, delivering content constantly. They're at the training sessions. They'll be focusing on the game. They're the press conferences. They're all over there. So do stay tuned for all of that and subscribe if you haven't. In the meantime, I wanted to get your thoughts on who you thought might play, because obviously we've got some of the big hitters back now.
We have. We're basically down to there's only the front 3 who haven't come back yet.
We've just got no strikers.
No strikers at all, apart from the lads that we've got.
And Big Divock, come on now.
Could be massive next year.
This is true.
Big Divock obviously is going to be huge. Ian Bruce is going to continue, obviously, but we're going to see time for Virgil, we're going to see time for Gini. Hendo's going to be back. Trent and Robbo are both back. You would expect these are going to get 45 minutes each.
I was going to say, so it normally works that we have 45 minutes and then we change up a lot of them for the second 45. But often there's a player or two who gets a 65, 70.
Yeah.
With bearing in mind that they're probably going to be pushing for the starting 11 come the beginning of the season. So I was going to ask, who did you think might be pushing for the 65 mark?
Well, you're into your third game, so you want these lads getting some minutes under the belt. I think one of the obvious ones is Divock.
Divock, yeah.
He's got to get more time, which could change the formation that we play. And there's a lot of talk lately in various quarters of the possibility of the 4-4-2 diamond coming back. Because if you're going to play Divock up front, he plays better in a 2. So there could be a call for seeing Divock and Ian Brewster for 60 minutes each, giving them both some time, because Brewster's obviously on fire. We know that all the assurances the Klopp gave him a year ago to get him signed a new contract meant that he is going to have a massive future. Everything about Brewster's situation, every whisper you hear is that the future is absolutely huge for the lad. So I would expect to see him get a bit more time. I'd expect 45 minutes from Klein, I'd expect 45 minutes from Trent.
Yep.
Left back situation, I'd expect Robbo on.
Yep.
Lovren, you would expect to go and get 45 because you're likely to see Van Dijk come in for 45. So Matip's got some time, Phillips to get some time under his legs. I love the idea of Lallana as a number 6. I want to see that continue forever. Just on the
I thought you were just going to say, I love the idea of Lallana.
I do love the idea of Lallana. It's a fantastic idea. In practice, not always as great as people want, but I love the lad. I trust him completely. I like the idea of using him as number 6 just to wind people up. If they're using there all summer, just to really, really upset people, that'll be great for me. I think you'll see a bit more time for him. I think you'll see possibly longer for both Wilson and Kent. because it makes sense to give them some minutes.
Yeah,
there.
it's exciting, and it's the stage. We're into the real pre-season now, where you get to start to build momentum, and you start to have an idea of Klopp's thinking and the players that are going to start pushing for first team. It's exciting. It's really is exciting. There's only a couple of things left to talk about, really. The first being that we are in the brand new Man Island Social, which is right underneath where the Anfield Wrap are based, and I've got to say, it's very cool, isn't it?
It's fantastic. It's a lovely place.
Really, really smart. So get down here. They do breakfasts, lunches, dinners. They've got cracking ales. They do lovely wines. And if you come down on Friday, you might see Gibbo dancing on a table and Neil hammered, basically.
Alternatively, we may still be sitting here. We may still be talking about Nicolas Pepe.
Yeah, we might still be sat here talking about Nicolas Pepe. And as you know, the Anfield Wrap are out in America at the moment covering the pre-season tour. There's a couple of tickets left. There's literally just a handful of tickets left for the live show in New York on Monday at Carragher's Bar. So go to theanfieldwrap.com/tour live for tickets. I've been to Carragher's Bar and it is brilliant. And the lads live are fantastic. Get yourselves down there. It'll be a really, really, really good night and very boozy. Ian, it's been an absolute pleasure.
It has. That's my first.
Get your T-shirt out.
I got promoted for availability, and because I can hold up a T-shirt wonderfully.
My glamorous assistant.
This is brand new product. This is a brand new Anfield Wrap shirt. You may recognise the design. This is from the wonderful piece of animation of Divock Origi slotting the ball into the back of the net in Madrid. If you look really, really carefully, oh no, I'm round about here. This isn't going to work at all. I'm not on the T-shirt. But this is wonderful. It's from the animation that was voiced over by Clive Tilsley. And you can see a great horde of red going mad and Divock running off and celebrating very, very calmly.
It's a cracking shirt. You can get yours on the Anfield Wrap website. We'll speak to you all soon. This has been Talking Reds.